What a game one, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about game one between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 2021 Stanley Cup Finals. In game one, the Lightning come out and take it by a score of 5-1. You might think that that is a complete dominant performance, putting the Habs to sleep. Habs rolled over, Lightning and floor, blah, blah, blah. Hey, don't even get ahead of yourself so far, because I actually think there were a lot of good elements in the Habs game tonight and a lot of important learning lessons for them going forward into the rest of this Cup Final. So with all that being said, make sure to consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really does help this channel grow, regardless of the team that you root for. We don't really hate any teams on this channel. We might be a Winnipeg Jets themed channel. That's just because they're my team and my favorite team, but I like to watch hockey and I like to root for every team, and especially the underdogs in the Habs in this case. So make sure to subscribe regardless of the team you root for. Also, just a quick little thing in case you're wondering if you hear a background noise like a fan or whatnot. It is currently 44 degrees in my house right now. No air conditioning, no airflow. It's not a great place to be right now, but I'm still going to get through this video and I'm going to talk to you guys. I just have to have the fan on low, so if you do hear it in the background, I do apologize, but if I don't have it on, I will literally be dripping sweat and be dead by the third minute mark. So with all that being said, let's jump into the video and talk about the real first big thing we need to get into before this game even started, was the fact that Armia was out, not able to join the lineup because he just didn't get to the team in time after the whole issue with COVID and whatnot on the private jet and him flying into Tampa. And in his replacement, Jake Evans makes his return to the lineup after that horrible hit Mark Scheifele threw on him in game one of the second round way back when the Jets and Habs, when the Habs swept the Jets. So it's great to see him coming back and playing hockey again and being healthy. That hit could have been way worse for him in the long run, considering of how he was delivered and how he landed. So it's great to see him coming back already, being able to play in the Cup Final. I know we'd probably really want to do that. Obviously, it's a dream of every hockey player in the world to play in the Stanley Cup Final. So it's really good to see Evans being able to finally get back into the lineup and play in such an important game one. And with all that being said, honestly, from puck drop probably to the first 6 minutes into that first period, I thought there was a pretty equal game. Obviously, the Lightning looked a little dominant at times in the neutral zone, but when I looked at what the Habs were bringing, how physical they were, the presence in front of the net, I honestly thought that it wasn't going to be as much of a landslide going down the line. But I think what really just happened is the Habs weren't prepared for the type of hockey that the Lightning were going to bring constantly throughout the entire game. Vegas obviously played a very different system and a different style compared to what the Lightning are, and when you compare game one of Vegas compared to this game, they were way worse against Vegas in game one compared to this, because in this game they got gradually worse because I felt like they were just overworked and they just weren't ready, and they were kind of just outplayed by a really good skilled opponent in the reigning champs in the Lightning. But honestly, going into that first 6 minutes or whatever, when Cernak gets that great tip in on that turnover past Carey Price's glove side up high, not really much anything he can do there, perfectly placed tip, gives him that 1-0 lead. And after that, I was like, okay, maybe this is going to be one of those games where the Habs are going to have to, put a lot of scoring in later. Who knows what's going to happen? But after that, I wasn't very nervous, because I thought that even though it was a great goal off of a turnover for the Lightning, I thought that the Habs still had their best play of hockey, and honestly, Carey Price couldn't do much there. And Carey Price had one hell of a game, which we'll be talking about much further as we get into this video. But honestly, the next big thing I want to talk about from that first period, which I kind of thought was a momentum swing, and you'll hear why, was that really weird interference call on Gourde that Gourde did on to Brendan Gallagher. Even though I don't think it was really interference, I saw some fans on Twitter saying that it was because he kind of got it up in his head with the cross check, but it wasn't called a cross checking penalty. It was an interference penalty, and when you look at the way the puck was played and when he was hit and everything in between, I don't think that's an interference call compared to some of the other stuff that gets let go in these playoffs and stuff that is called compared to that. I just don't understand how you call that in game one of the playoffs with that much time left. And then the big momentum killer, I thought, after that hit was the fact that the Habs, they get that kind of lucky break in that power play, and they do absolutely nothing with it. They completely waste it. The Lightning were so dominant on that kill. They owned the neutral zone. Tampa, I don't even think the Habs ever even registered a shot on that power play. And after that, they looked a little dead in the water for the rest of that first period, and for good reason. The Lightning were just all over them. Again, how it felt in this game is that they started the periods off pretty strong, even though they might have gotten a goal or whatnot pretty quickly. They still played decent hockey. The problem was that they just couldn't keep up that tempo the entirety against a team as deep and as just dominant that the Lightning were today. I feel like the Lightning in this game, this was one of their best performances, I felt like, in a while. Now, I haven't watched all the Lightning this year in the playoffs. I've been focusing a lot more on the West, and I gotta say, I really like this performance against the Habs in this game for game one. It really does set the tempo for them, and I think that it just kind of gives a really good, paints a good picture on what the series is going to be like for the Habs. Even though I think they're a well-matched team, I still think that, even after this game, they still are well matched, and I still think it will go the distance. Point being, though, it is definitely a big momentum killer after a weird call like that I don't think should be called, and then a really great penalty kill. The Habs kind of just dead in the water there after that first period, and that's just kind of how that they looked, I felt like, after that first, and it kind of explains the way they felt going into that second, because the Habs were barely able to escape away from that Chiarot penalty at the end of that first going into the second. The Lightning were dominant on there. They should have got another goal there, but Carey Price had a fantastic opportunity there to make some great saves. He bailed out his team there on that penalty kill, and the Habs were able to keep it only a 1-0 game. But unfortunately, after that, Benny just misses the post. Ben Chiarot comes in after that, taking that bad penalty, comes in and just rips it off the lower post on the left side. Just a little bit to the right, that thing's at the back of the net. Really good opportunity there for Ben Chiarot. He thought he scores his first goal of the playoffs and of the Stanley Cup Final, point for him, but he gets that a little bit later because he comes in and after Carey Price makes an amazing save on Stamkos with a vintage Carey glove. You see Blake Coleman come in and deflect a goal past Carey Price to make it 2-0. And that's kind of when, at that point, I was like, oh, okay, another deflection goal. What were the Habs bad at in that last round against Vegas? Deflections and face-offs. They got to work on that. You got to get better. Tampa's an even better team at that. When they look at the talent than what Vegas is, that's not good. You got to be able to get on those deflections. And I just felt like the defense tonight was the worst part about the Habs, is that even though the offense had struggles at time, the defense was just so inconsistent that they weren't able to get any momentum and build off of it in the long run. It's kind of what I come back to in that first, that after these momentum swinging plays that Tampa was able to carry out, the Habs just weren't able to get consistent play from their defenders to really carry any momentum into the offensive zone and get sustained pressure. And that's how you win hockey games, especially crucial hockey games, is sustained pressure and really good opportunities put on your goaltender. Just constant scoring, shooting the puck. And let me tell you another thing too. When you are the Montreal Canadiens and you are only able to put up 19 shots on goal compared to 27 by the Lightning, that's also not how you win a game when you're down already by a score of 4-1 at some points, 3-1 at some points. So you got to be able to get those shots up, because even though it's 2-0 right now, Montreal is getting absolutely eaten alive in the defensive zone possession. They're not looking that good. And then all of a sudden, bam, Benny comes in and he absolutely goes in and he delivers an awesome shot to get into that goal. He puts him in, and after a great pinch, that was a great play. Like, the whole play there was great to get Benny that goal. You have Weber coming in to that boards, making that pinch, and then after that pinch, dropping it back to Brayden Gallagher, who kind of circles around the top of the circle, drops it back to the blue line to Benny Chiarot. Benny Chiarot just hammers it. God, I miss him on the Jets. I wish they'd kept him. He makes it 2-1, and it's a completely new game now. The Habs got some life into them. Benny's got his goal after he's kind of made some weird plays and kind of been all over the place from good and bad and everywhere else in the spectrum. He gets that first goal, gets his first playoff goal, and he really gets this team moving. And unfortunately, though, after that, they're just not able to really get any more momentum after that goal, unfortunately. From that, it's kind of just downhill. And when I talk about downhill, I mean another play, bad play by Ben Chiarot. And not really just a bad play, but more of an unlucky one. Ben Chiarot comes in trying to play the puck away from his goalie right and tight in the crease, and he knocks it right over to Ondrej Palat. Ondrej Palat's able to corral that puck and put it past Carey Price to make it 3-1. And that's kind of just the story of that third period, is that the Habs just ran out of gas. No matter what happened, no matter how much they tried, they just were not able to get anything really going. And again, faceoffs came back and haunted the Habs tonight. After that, Kucherov buries an absolute beautiful goal off of a Lightning faceoff win, curls in off of that dot, and shoots it top high, glove side on Price. There's not much what you can do when there's so much in front of the Carey Price, a lot of activity, a good screen. Vegas was able to do this extremely well in Game 1 and a lot of other games in that series, and you see the Lightning be able to do the exact same thing in this game as well. This goal almost made me think back to that Shea Theodore goal in Game 1 where Mark Stone cut to the net off of that draw, did a perfect screen on Carey Price, almost tips it in himself, and Theodore blasted in to make it 1-0. This goal kind of, instead of being the one to really catapult the lead and get things going for the Tampa Bay Lightning, this kind of, I felt, sealed the coffin for the Montreal Canadiens. Even though they didn't play a bad game, at this point, they were just completely out of gas. They were just not able to do really anything against the Lightning at this point. They were flying. The goals kept coming for the Lightning, obviously. They were just being absolutely great. Stamkos coming in and burying it near the end to make it 5-1. And honestly, it was just crazy because not only at that third period did the Habs kind of collapse, but also, the play was just insane. You got Brayden Gallagher getting thrown down by Sergachev and getting absolutely bloodied. I haven't seen a guy get this bloodied in a while, and he just was, it was not a pretty sight to behold. Not to mention the guy's already going bald up there too, so I see a balding young man covered in blood. Not a good look for Brayden Gallagher tonight. Not a great game for Brayden Gallagher tonight, even though he made some good plays. An interesting game for him, I would say. Nonetheless, not a really good play you'd like to see. I saw some people saying that should be a suspension. It's not. It was just weird hockey luck that he got cut so badly, I guess. I don't know how to really explain that. I haven't seen a guy get cut that bad off of a play like that in a while, I felt like. So hopefully Brendan Gallagher will be okay and get stitched up later on after this game, and he'll be able to get his pretty little face back and maybe get a toupee to cover up that bald spot as well. But point being, after that, the Habs just kind of were done. It didn't matter what happened, because even though the Habs were able to play a good game throughout the first and at the second, even though they were trailing, even though they were able to make it 2-1, even though it was 3-1, that third period, what just really killed them was the momentum again. Ben Chiarot kind of making that bad luck play, giving it to Palat to make it 3-1. That kind of just destroyed everything for them after that. After that, it was just kind of this barrage of bad play where they weren't able to kick anything consistent defense, and I think that that's a really good learning point for the Habs, though, because you can look at this game and be like, the Habs weren't horrible. They were able to throw 58 hits tonight, which is also good, even though the Lightning were able to throw 57. They were 50% equal on the face-off percentage, both with the Lightning. And the other big thing to talk about tonight that is a big momentum killer is also that they allowed their first power play goal since Game 4 of the Leafs series. Game 4 of the Leafs. That's how long they've been since they've allowed a power play goal. So that, streak's over. Will they be able to maintain it? Who knows? But I don't think this game is as bad for Habs fans as some people might think. I think that there's a lot of good momentum to carry from this. Even though you lost and it wasn't a great score, you didn't play a horrible game from puck drop to the end of the game. So I think you can take some of this, improve off of your play, and just kind of, be more ready and be ready to see a game that's this deep, where you get nonstop action and just have your defense be a little bit more consistent. You got to get a little bit more consistency out of those defenders down there if you're the Habs, and I think if you're able to do that, I think you can still make this series very interesting. Other than that, though, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on that game and everything like that. So let me know all your thoughts, Habs fans and Lightning fans out there. What were your thoughts on Game 1? Do you think that this series will still have some longevity to it? Do you think it's going to be shorter now? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, also make sure to subscribe, like I said at the start of this video. It really does help the channel out if you can support it in any way, and subscribing is a huge way to support this channel. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and all that jazz as always as well. Follow all my socials down in the description below. Make sure to check out the Prairie Puck podcast, link to that on Spotify. Its Spotify page will be down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Pig City Hockey. Peace, love, and positivity to all of you beautiful people out there, regardless to where you are in the world. We will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye-bye.